goes against my core values, then maybe you should move on. I do not think that's going to be the case, but it's like I want to drill it down today to the values. So yeah, what else I wanted to say about this is it's gonna also, if we know each other's values, it's gonna help you connect better with each other as well. So like really seeing like, oh, that's something that person is also driven by that. So we should talk about this specific thing. And it will help you on a whole lot of other levels. And so for this, I wanted to use a practice that I once studied, and it was practiced on me for a few times. And so this is a pyramid of logical levels. It's used a lot in the practice of NLP, if you know it. That's not that important right now. Oh no. And the thing that is important is that we're not just going to talk about values. To get to your values, because many people have never really tried to say very concise, these are my 5 core values. So I want to help to get to this. And in order to get to your values, you have to start a bit lower. And so we're going to start for here, that's why I have my laptop, I have to start a little bit, check my notes. So to get and to identify your values, you start first of all at the bottom with your environment. The environment that, so think mostly in the context of Giveth. Where are you working? What is around me? What are opportunities or threats and things that we actually already discussed? So what is around me? The second one is your behavior. So you observe yourself often, right? It's like, okay, I did this specific thing. Sometimes you will be like, I did this thing. Other times you're like, oh no, I did this thing again. And you might wonder why do I keep on doing this? I don't like that behavior about myself. So we're going to do a quick exercise to identify some of the behaviors that you do. Behaviors that contribute to a success or enable you to reach the goals that you want to reach within Giveth. The third level is capabilities, and that is linked to in order to get to that success that you want to get into Giveth. Well, you guys all are multi-talented. You have a number of skills. So this is just briefly taking a second to think and talk about what are my good skills that I can really use within Giveth. So we'll do a quick exercise to get to those capabilities that are actually coming from this behavior. And then we get to the real stuff that is motivating you to have this behavior, to use those skills in the organization. And that is, what are your values? What is really driving you? What is at the core of this? And and that is you can summarize this as what is important to me, or why do I do this? If you go one level higher up, and we're not going to go there today, we could, but we will probably not have the time, but it's a good exercise to do, is get to your identity. Out of your values, you can really try to define in a few words, who am I? Why am I doing this? We will do this exercise actually about Giveth, what is Giveth? Why is Giveth doing this? But this one is to start from an individual level. And in the end, you can get to your purpose. Why am I here? Why am I in this world? And that's when you go higher than this is really the spiritual level. And so this is we'll go for today up till here, until the values, because we'll use these for the rest of the week. So that is the thing I wanted to say as an introduction. I've written down some outcomes, why I think it's very important that we do this exercise, but I will get to that in the ending. So intent, I'll just stick to intent for now, it's to get to the values. The tool will be this. The type of meeting, it will be, I think, between an emo and ratio kind of meeting, because you have to listen to your gut feeling, but we start on a very rational level, what is our context. And format, it's a bit strict, because I want to not take you guys too long, and we already are a bit over time. So, before we started. So, what I would like to do is to ask you some questions, to think collectively about these first levels, if that is okay with you. So what I propose is I ask you the questions and you take about 2 minutes per level to think about that level for yourself individually. So don't think too much about like Giveth or anything. Just think to start, how does this apply? How do these questions apply to me?
Are we writing this down?
Yeah, so you are, sorry Griff, here's paper. Yeah, here's that one, just before. Everyone has paper now, right? Why do you have paper?
You should get paper, yeah.
So I start with the questions from the down start.
From the bottom,
From the
yeah.
bottom.
We start at the bottom, moving on up.
Should we just go
Short-sighted.
now, go to the next one, now go to the next one?
So what I propose is like I'm gonna ask you some questions now about the first level. Then I give you 2 minutes, you write some of the things like we did yesterday that just spontaneously come up in your mind, don't think too much. And then we're gonna share some of those that make sense in relation with Giveth that you wanna actually have on the board. So we'll take some minutes to do that together, but we start with just a few minutes to do it separately. So, I'm gonna ask my questions, but I need a pen because I gave everyone my pen. Yeah. Okay, so the first question is on the environment level. So think about where you are right now, where you are when you are working with and for Giveth in your daily life, so not just like today. And so just think, write some spontaneous things that come down, like in your environment, what's happening. So when are things happening? So when are you working? Where are you working? Who are the people you work most with? It's a very wide question, so write down anything you think of. So this is really just about describing your environment. So where are you? How do you work on a daily basis? Just write some things down that pop up in your mind. Things like, where do you work best? What kind of people do you like to have around you? Where are your resources? Where do you go for support? What are all these things that, like, I would say, like, think of the things that energize you.
Is this where we are or where we'd like to be?
No, this is where you are. This is your current environment, and if possible, think of it in the context of giving.
Okay.
So I'll repeat it one more time. So think of Giveth, and when you're in a daily work day at Giveth, where do you work best? What kind of people do you like to have around you? Where are your resources, like physical things, people? Where do you gain support?
Wait, that sounds like different questions than the environment.
This is how they define the question.
So are we talking about our ideal environment or like
No,
the
that's
environment
the question
that we have?
that was just asked. We're talking about your current environment. So think about like how your environment affects the goals that you want to reach in life. So what are your opportunities and constraints? Where do you work best? People around you. What are your resources? Where do you gain support? So note that this is a warming up phase because we won't have time to go really into this in all detail. Unfortunately, we would need a day to really get to all your values in detail. But so, just once more to close up, think of like one or two more things. Like, if you think of the goals and the things you want to reach within Giveth or beyond, how does your current environment affect your goals? Okay, I have to close it off, sorry. Keep on thinking about it, of course. Think about your environment. And now we're just like think, maybe circle one or two or three that you think like this is a relevant one in the context of Giveth. That something that really motivates you in your current life or situation, in your environment, or maybe something that holds you back, it doesn't matter. Just some things that pop in your head about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Where do you work best? Where do you gain support? What kind of people do you like around you? Danny, can you, for you it's okay to take some?
Yep.
Okay. So who has some thoughts about like when you think of Giveth, environment, and the goals we want to reach? What pops up into your head when you think of environment? Maybe you can...
Riot.
Asynchronous.
Yeah, okay. That's all good.
Decentralized.
Yeah. So no wrong answers. We're very much in the...
I did record the very personal stuff though, like not even like even my situation coming to the work.
That's fine. Well, your personal stuff is also, yeah, it's how you work with Giveth, right?
Unpredictable sleep schedules.
Time zones again.
Yeah,
Time zones.
Time zones and text-based communication too. As part of
Generally
the
uncertain.
asynchronous.
Do we have
Well,
Jitsi already on there?
What?
Jitsi?
Yeah, just
Oh, so tools?
Yeah, it's all part of it.
Jitsi, Riot.
Keeping structure in your day.
So like a daily routine?
Yeah, daily routine.
traveling. No structure there. Disrupting the structure.
Hugs. Hugs, physical contact. That influences me big time.
Crypto lovers.
Oh yeah, high speed internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Calm.
Calm.
So these are things like that affects our environment? Is that
Just like what you think of
Make it
currently in your
more-
life, and you think when you're working, like or like living,
like friendly people? I mean,
yeah,
Crypto lovers.
sure.
I would
Crypto
even like,
lovers?
how do we say this? Like it's like a family, you know. It's like familiar, or
Mhm.
we strive to be. We're very homely, you know. We cook, we sit at home, we don't
Yep.
open to whatever. Not
Informal, casual, or
Formal family
like,
feeling, like all
family
these.
family, just right family.
yeah.
Giveth family.
is that it?
Also things that you like don't hesitate to hold back. Like this is currently in my environment, and it's like it's holding me back to reach the goals I want to reach.
Holistic,
Holistic, sure.
meaning like all encompassing. Like we try to
I think communication is
the whole
important.
thing.
It's a big one for sure.
Yeah.
It's all
Communication between
good
peers,
communication if you think about like how to reach
that
it.
will improve a lot. Like,
Yeah.
the main thing.
I wrote down like mixed environments, but in the sense that we are like belonging to different realities somehow, no? That we are creating a new reality, but we are still in the matrix out there. You know?
Yeah.
So
Pluriverse.
huh?
I know I put in my own world.
Pluriverse.
But
A pluriverse. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pluri realities. I don't know.
I would say in that context even maybe because of decentralization,
Asymmetric.
the risk of a lack of nuance,
Consensus.
of a loss
Yeah.
of nuance.
Communications end
Yeah.
up being kind of like streamlined
Asymmetric
instead of rich.
Yeah.
Yes.
Symmetrically.
Like yeah, loss of
Not to
richness
scale.
of communication is the richness that is important,
Is
right?
lost potentially. Yeah.
It for sure is sometimes. And like I'm saying something, it's like this has like 50% chance of getting
Fractal?
across, badly.
The idea that I'm trying.
Yeah, you know, because nuance is lacking. Is that front door open? Front door is still open. Is that okay? Okay. Yeah. So we can move to the next level then.
Let's take a look.
No, we're not gonna take a little break. You can say hi and we continue, or we're gonna lose our flow. And
I saw the photos the other day, so I
so those left.
Hey, how's it going? Nice to see you. Yeah. Good
Hey
to
Michael,
see
we're quickly gonna jump back in. Because
Okay,
we're
yeah,
already,
I know.
way over
Okay,
time.
cool.
So
Yeah,
please
yeah.
have a seat.
I know when I'll
And
be
just
fine.
relax.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, Kai.
Okay.
And Loa here was sick, eh?
She's
Yeah,
over there.
man.
Okay.
Take I'll give you a
Okay.
piece of paper, Michael.
Okay, I'll be quiet.
No, just join.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Take a phone. Stand here.
If you wanna sit,
Okay.
In terms of time, there is also a when question there.
Yeah, when are you working? So that has a bit to do with like your day rhythm and so on. I would say like when.
I wrote down like in year 10 after Satoshi, so
10 years BS.
Yeah.
no, just to, we're just starting, this is gonna be long, but
No, it's a good point. It's like the long term as element when you think of time. It's very important in this environment. I think it's a crucial one because people get like frustrated because they want to we want results now. Well, we're in this for the long term. So it's really maybe long term thinking. I think that's a good one. I like that
I
one.
like it year 10 after Satoshi.
I like years past Satoshi. Along with the Bitcoin.
Okay. So we just started on the values. Michael, just to fill you in, we're just doing a little brainstorming exercise together.
So we're answering these questions on environment, and the interesting thing when I looked at my list is it seems so contradictory. Because I was like, when other people are available to work with me, or when I'm alone and naked in bed, listening to music, like depending what I'm doing, the when and the where are completely contradictory.
Yeah.
Sometimes I want to be near a window and with nature to go inspire me, and other sides in a box with no windows.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to close down.
So
to
our
open up.
environment is like constantly changing. Like
Yeah.
we're in a rapidly shifting environment.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that is a really important one as well. It's not very stable.
The flow state.
Well, you want to get to the flow state, but like,
And everything is in
Volatile,
a
volatile
flow
environment.
state.
but you have to get there to flow with them, and I think that's my goal. That if you really listen to your values, you will get to the flow state on your other levels. But it's indeed rapidly flowing, and you have to be like,
I think just everything is, and like as a human, it's harder to get there probably.
for sure, because we think so much.
So
Okay.
you're moving up
Yeah.
the pyramid.
So we go to the next level, which is your actual behavior. So again, I would say, think about it in the context, like, how does your behavior affect your goal? That's maybe a very simple way to ask the basic question. So ask yourself now, on a day-to-day basis, if possible, somewhat related to Giveth, but like in our fluid work way, I think it often is. So ask yourself, what specifically do you do during, what's your behavior every day? So think about what you do that makes your life fun and interesting when it comes, again, context. What do you find yourself saying often? So can you see patterns in like your own behavior? Like this is like, I'm not gonna talk about me right now. So can you see any patterns? Do your actions fit in with like your sense of who you are? So do you feel like, I'm doing behavior that makes sense to me, or am I really like doing some irrational behavior sometimes? What do you sound like? That's another question that's here. So think of all sorts of things and like your behavior. If someone else would look at you, how would they describe you? What are you doing? So like, I see Josh and people ask me ask me about Josh, I'm gonna probably talk about his behavior.
What's the header of this section?
Behavior?
Yeah.
So, second one, behavior. And so, the thing is, ask yourself specifically what you do. Or if someone would look at you, what would they see?
Yeah. Like, I would like to comment, like, I don't know if can record ourselves at some point, like to see, like all those things that you mentioned. It will be cool, like to see ourselves for maybe 30 seconds.
Griff does that all the time.
Yeah, I mean,
You get recorded all the time, so you can watch yourself and your own behavior.
I'm pretty sure most of us.
Yeah, well,
That would be cool.
just doing interviews, it's like I discover a lot about myself as well. And it's not only just the physical behavior, like some tics and
agree.
stuff that you do, because for example, I just gesticulate a lot.
Yeah, completely. It's important.
Yeah, but that's a thing you can write down. But also like, it's like,
Nice.
what do you do and what are some patterns that you see in your own behavior when you're working or playing? Don't think just yet about why you're doing it, just like what are you doing? Some like typical things for you. And don't hesitate to step out of yourself and like, okay, if I would ask 10 people or all the people in the room, what would be some of the things they definitely see in my behavior?
That's actually
Okay, so again, we're not going to go too long on this one because this is for the deeper personal values exercise and we won't have the time. So what I propose for this one is that you each name one or two things that that you notice in your own behavior. Some people might say, maybe like because of this people can get to know you better, or some people might be like, oh, I don't see this in you at all. Could be interesting as well. So watch the other people when you say it. To give an example, so I know I talk a lot and I can be loud. I can say 100 things about my behavior, but I talk a lot and I can be loud and over talking people sometimes. That's one thing I'm just saying about my behavior. Griff, can you say something about your behavior?
Sure. I travel a lot. When I talk, I do a lot of movements and dancing and stuff, hugging. Very touchy, and a lot of leading of like groups. Always like facilitating.
Lorelai?
Giving care.
Giving care? Okay. Kai?
Yeah, I do a lot of things, and like in conversation, or I don't know, in behavior, I guess I can either be very quiet or medium, or I can get very excited, and I can also get very excited and cut off people, and which I'm sorry if I do it, but sometimes this idea just wants to come out. Sorry.
No, sorry.
No, that's
So self-expressing?
yeah, expressive.
I got a few. So exercising my own curiosity, handshaking new relationships, learning about environment, openly signaling my intentions, and offering my skills at disposal.
Okay.
I think I tend to be a bit of a thinker, so I like to think things through from a lot of different angles. I tend to be, I think I'm more introverted overall than extroverted, so I'm more of a listener, although sometimes I get excited and I cut people off, stuff like that, like I said.
Yeah,
And the third one is, I think I love big ideas, but when I get thinking big, sometimes my behavior is that I take on too much. It's like I want to eat that whole cake, but I can't.
I have too many tabs open on mine, like in my brain.
Josh.
So, what would you say that is? That's like over.
Well, I think, to be honest, even if you don't note them all,
Yeah.
it's fine. We're
Okay.
recording this, and I think it's interesting for the other people to also observe what we're all saying about these points. We're not going to make a summary of this because this is your personal behavior, but it's good for the next step, so it's fine. Josh?
Investigate with curiosity, seeking patterns, living with intent, remembering self is other, thinking integration, remaining on the path but with the group, patience.
Do you have it
caring.
or not?
Both.
Okay.
Meta uncertain.
Okay.
Teach, learn, share.
Cool.
Got a list.
Of course, it's really summarizing your own behavior. We can talk all for hours about behavior, our behavior, of course. That's perfect.
Behaviors that I've noticed, my ideation is much clearer and easier to flow when it's in a physical realm rather than through an interface of a computer. I find it really difficult to type out an idea, but to talk about an idea, to draw an idea, I think I want to start focusing more on that.
Cool.
Yeah. Physical ideation.
Adam?
I'm a kind of a weird mix of like self-motivated, but then I also like to have a sense that like other people see value in something I'm gonna do before just doing it. So like independent, dependent.
Yeah.
Both.
I get that very much.
Yeah, well, I tend to smile a lot, I think, just randomly. And also, it's not the language, like on my native language, I'm also like a hard person communicating verbally. So I'm way better at communicating like writing or maybe like another forms of expression. But verbally, I'm like not very good. So if I don't talk for some period of time, I mean, it's pretty normal. But it's nothing like, it's just me.
Danny?
Staring at my phone, answering questions, asking questions, reading, and organizing. Or cleaning something, or cooking something, or fixing something, or testing something.
I'm gonna add one more from myself, because like, yeah, I didn't take notes. I'm like listening and to the others as well. I think because of the distant often and like working alone, so I talk a lot at some points, but at other points I completely block myself because of really, I would use the word to Griff as well as like crippling self-doubt. I don't think I'm capable of doing it, so I just block. I get completely blocked, and I can be blocked for 2 or 3 days, and then suddenly I can get back to my work with, and that is a behavior I have very much. And I have no idea if people notice it, but I do it.
Am I
hide it.
Is that a thing I need to pay attention to?
Sorry? Yeah. So that is behavior. Okay, so then we'll go to the next level.
Hey Chris.
Yes.
I don't know if it's because my brain is swollen or what, but I'm having a hard time with like all of the questions that you ask after the like header of the section. They seem like really different questions to me, and I can't keep track of them. Like when you just spit them out, like I don't know if it's possible to like pare down to 1 or 2 questions, or if you could just let me look at the questions or something.
Well, you can take your laptop, but I'm gonna keep it here to like keep my focus on myself. I get the answers that make sense in the context of what the exercise is about.
Okay, where is it? Where do I find
I can send you the link.
Can you just send it to Greg?
And there are no right or wrong answers, so it's just like inspiring answers. Like just to keep it for a second for Danny. Do people feel that it's not making any sense, or is it like, what is the feeling right now?
Give me some creativity.
Yeah? Okay, cool. So, the next phase is like, we've talked about like the behaviors, the things you actually do in that environment where we are every day. So the next thing is like, the things that you do on a daily basis is like how you do some behavior you like or you don't like, but you have that behavior because you want to reach some things in life. We'll get there, and we'll talk about the goals. But if you think about what you do, and about what you want to reach in Giveth or beyond Giveth, you have some skills and some capabilities and some talents and some knowledge and some competencies you built up over the years. So now ask yourselves, if you have to think about like your capabilities, think of the skills and the competencies and the knowledge that you have. Like write some of the things down that you're pretty certain of that you're good at, that you like doing, or that you are good at, even if you don't like doing them. Some of the skills. So I'm gonna read some of the example questions.
Chris,
Yes?
can I make just one semantic suggestion?
Sure.
Capabilities and affordances are different things. And
Affordances?
Yeah. Capabilities are ability to learn the thing. Affordances are the hard, I can do it.
I don't get the affordance.
So you have the capability to learn to program,
Yeah.
but you don't have the affordance to program.
Oh.
What if you have the capability to program?
Yeah,
well, in that case, it just means you can learn to program.
yeah. Well, then
That's capability.
let's maybe then not, because I've never.
Just-
It's a good point. I never use the word affordance, but like then think
Yeah.
about skills. If you think capabilities, think of what you can learn.
The only reason I say that is because you should have the belief of being able to do anything,
For
whereas
sure.
you might not have the affordance to do so.
Correct.
No, it's a very cool concept actually. I would.
Yeah, but we'll talk about that later. So I'll ask you some questions to get you going. What skills have you learned that you are proud of? What will people who know you well say you are good at? Do you know someone who has the skills you would like to have? How do you know you are effective? So this is wide. And again, so we don't have time to go into all the detail. And that's probably what's like bugging you a bit here, Lorelai, is that I cannot do the exercise. You should like take half an hour for every step, and we just don't have the time.
Is there one of these that you're going to ask us to go around in?
Go around in?
Yeah, because
there were
instead of trying to
questions,
answer all
right?
five, like we're only
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
talk
Yeah.
about one, we can just work on that one.
I would say like, what skills have you learned that you are proud of?
Yeah, that's the main, right?
Yeah.
Then that's good to know.
And the second is it's reflecting it again, like step out of yourself, and what would people who know you well say you are good at? That's another one that can help you.
Oh, okay.
So what skills have you learned that you are proud of? Yeah, well, we started an hour later, so I'm not. Danny is I'm counting an extra hour because we started an hour later. Yeah. I know. I really pushed you guys. I couldn't do more. So what skills have you learned that you're proud of, and what will people who know you well say you are good at? That's a good point. So because of that, I think you know like what you learn and what you're good at. So we'll try to speed it up slightly, which is painful, but let's go. Let's do it.
I mean, we should take like some time.
Yeah,
It's a
but
collective. Like,
yeah. Okay.
Are you going to go around this one? Ah, okay.
I mean, I think we can make ethics of the DAP smaller and CS smaller, you know? Like,
No smaller for CS.
okay.
I
Not
actually
smaller.
probably need another session.
Yeah.
But if we finish like at 8 today, like
Yeah,
is
we
that
can all
okay?
shift to the-
Yeah, that's what we said already.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you guys started slow today, and so we're gonna
As long as
be a bit
it's
delayed.
like 1 hour.
We had 90 minutes, so I want to try to stick to the 90 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
Where are we gonna take it back from?
Where are we taking the 90 from, or the other 60 from?
Like the
The
instead of
bottom.
7.
We'll just do funding brainstorm while we cook upstairs.
Yeah, or just move everything a bit further. Okay, so let's go around again and say 1 or 2 skills that you have learned that you are proud of, or that people will probably see in you as skills that you have. I'll start by modeling. So I would say I am proud of, and I think I have the skill of being able to really edit words into a very tiny detail and get the nuance of specific words, and because of that I'm good at like editing texts and getting to a concise meaning of something if I focus on it. That's one example I think of. Griff?
Generally like Ethereum concepts and building networks within different spaces, and also just like keeping people entertained while hanging out.
Like facilitating roles and compensation.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, lots of stuff, because I'm a major nerd, like I really hack into the things, and I like to relate this to other people as well. I really get enjoyment from people, I don't know, using something that enables them, actualizes them to do different stuff, so it's right there. Yeah, apart from that, all the video, audio stuff, installation, lights, infrastructure, logistics. I like to do stuff, like I know there's always dishes that need to be cleaned, there's always shopping that needs to be done, there's always...
But just like 1 or 2.
never do the laundry.
Okay, but what you do
That's
is
what
just
it's
like, yeah, okay, she got those things, yeah. Gus?
Yeah, organizing people or organizational skills, let's say. I have a very rhetorical speech. I'm good at communication, I'm good at coaching others, strategical thinking, decentralization, system thinking as well, and empirical learning.
Michael?
Yeah, a little bit similar but different. Just around, I think I'm good at taking an idea and organizing people around that idea and turning it into a reality of some sort. Whatever that might be.
Leadership.
Yes, that's sort of leadership-ish.
Josh?
Yeah, generalized learning, which is kind of I think what Kelly was doing. I'm with him on that kind of buzz. I'm happy to go out, pick fruit and bring that back, do anything in a general sense, but more specialised audio engineering, writing, articulation, teaching, figuring out tools, remaining focused, and generalised design.
I'd say like communication of concepts, trying to boil things down with simple explanations that make sense for people.
Yeah, that was actually one of mine.
Then you cannot take it.
Yeah. There's also, you know, critical analysis, which can be helpful at different stages of different processes, for different reasons.
Cool.
That was, I mean, it's kind of like the same thing, but that's like, I think it's key for the core of the organization. But I will say personally, I don't get like, well, people say that I'm good at things, but I normally don't tend to interact with people that are not like, I tend to interact with people better than me, so I'm good at challenging myself in that way. And yeah,
But is there some, because there you're actually just being hard on yourself. Is there something that you can say, I'm proud that I know I do that. I know this, when I go there, I know I'm good at this. This keeps me sane because I know I'm capable of doing this.
Yeah, well, I think the skills that actually allow me to do that kind of thing, I think it will be like analytical thinking and problem solving that actually I can go with. And also, one of the most important things And maybe on the other side of the spectrum is empathy. For me, like understanding people and what they actually mean is very important, not only on the technical side, but actually on the
Personal side.
yeah, exactly. So
For sure.
that is a good thing.
Nice. Danny?
Protecting resources,
Okay.
and the other one I'll put for myself is relating, and I would call it meta relating, like seeing what things connect and connecting them,
Cool. Yeah. And
networking, I guess.
I'll add a second one for myself because in the meantime I tend to think. I know I absorb a lot of emotions of people, and the skill that the capability it makes because of that, I absorbs all the senses and all the stuff. So I also make a lot of connections in a sort of empathic way. That's like a really vague description, but I know what it means for me.
Okay.
Okay. Then the next one we get actually where we want to get.
Giving advice.
Sorry.
Giving advice. I think we're all good at that.
Yeah, for sure. Then now we're gonna do the next one, which is values. So if you think about some of the things you said before, there is a path and there is a reason why the thing that Josh said, you have capabilities, you know you're capable of doing some stuff, but maybe you're not investing it, but you invested in something so that they became hard skills. There are some reasons why you got there, why you focused on those. And that's the things that you believe. That's the things that are behind why you are doing those things. So I'll read it out loud to stick to the scenario. So your beliefs and values are your guiding force of your actions and decisions. So that's what I just said, I guess. What you strongly believe in. So if you do that daily behavior in that environment and you use the skills that you have, why are you doing this? Another question that can help is, what do you believe to be right and wrong? What has to be true for you to get to what you want? I'm only picking the ones that are not confusing in this context.
So this is all in the context of what motivates us within Giveth. This isn't like in life.
No, because and maybe that was a confusing thing. I think Lorelai picked up on that correctly. It's like I would say, what personally motivates you to work in Giveth, maybe, but like you are here, so that means that you're motivated to be here, right? So think about like what could have inspired that. Like you have certain skills, you have certain things that drive you in life. So now think. After talking about like, this is a context that I thrive in, this is a behavior I see myself doing every day. I do that behavior with certain skills that I have, I know how to set that behavior. And now, why do I do this? Why are you writing? Why are you analyzing? Why are you doing these things? What's important to you in life? What do you value?
So it is about life, not about Giveth.
It's not about Giveth, yeah.
Okay. Okay, gotcha.
That keeps it clear. Because then we'll share some of the things and see which we all have in common, which ones we have in common.
So can you say the questions one more time?
Yeah, so your beliefs and your values are your guiding force of your actions and decisions. So what do you strongly believe in? And these are already more abstract concepts, so
Yeah.
there's no wrong answers, but we'll connect some and boil them down to real values afterwards.
Well, centralization will be a wrong answer. But
No, it's not. There's no wrong answers. It's like if that is you think that is a value, we'll see if we can connect some words and boil it down to the same thing. slightly more time for this one because this is a crucial one, of course. Don't hesitate to look again at what you wrote down before in your environment, in your behaviors. So where are you, what are you doing, and how are you doing it? In the thought, so it doesn't have to be about Giveth, but think about what you're currently doing. And it could be that you think this I find really important in life, but I'm not really acting upon it. That's perfectly possible. Many people do not follow their core values. That's when you feel your gut saying like this, oh, this doesn't feel right. But think about the things that you really, that motivate you, that drive you in life. That's like, this is why I'm doing it. This is what energizes me. And as Danny said yesterday, just keep on writing. If no words come up, just write, etc. You will write some things that you've written before, that's fine. Just write a list of the value is one word, not a long sentence, like one word. Or two. When I see what I write. Everyone about ready?
Yeah.
Quickly check out. Okay. So, what we're gonna do now, what I propose, is that we that you now look at your sheet and you take you take another 2 minutes and you circle the 3 most important values to you. Because you'll see when you look at your sheet, you will have some things, if you think about it, like, yeah, they're connected. I actually want to get to the same higher goal with it. So think of 3 things, 3 words or 3 like concepts when it comes to like, this is what I believe in, that you find most important. And we're gonna write all of those, if you want to share, on the paper, and then we're gonna see what comes up that is connecting us.
You know, you look like a teacher at when you do this, like.
Pens down, voices up.
Yeah, pens down.
You ready? Yeah. Okay, so I'll start this off. So I boiled it down to 2 things I want to say here, I guess. So the first one is connection / community through vulnerability. They're all connected. I wanted to say it separately, but to me I'm grouping them. Connection and community through vulnerability. That's my first one.
We're starting deep. You're starting deep.
Yeah, it's an essential value for me. And just second one is personal and collective growth. The growth is the most important word in that one. And to me it's linked to getting to growth, evolution, to get to abundance. That's me. Griff?
A fair distribution of power. Radical inclusion. And the power of companionship.
Justice and evolution.
You have systemic injustice as well, and manipulation, which conflict with my values. So that's my belief that this exists in the world. Conflicts with my values of love, fairness, and dignity. Huh?
What is dignity?
It conflicts with my values, like this belief that this exists, conflicts with my values of love, fairness, and dignity, like those are my...
Oh,
so
I see
love,
what
fairness,
you mean.
and dignity.
So you're saying the systemic injustice conflicts with your values?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I seek a solution through openness, sharing, and learning, or like that's what kicks with me. And the meta thing for this is the community that's already here, actually. just to go through my thoughts.
So the values are
So-
love, dignity, and fairness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love, dignity, fairness, justice is one that you said as well. Nice.
Mine is, well, creating value through collaboration. I think that not only collaboration is no. Second, I don't know why, but I also see switching paradigms as a value.
Switching.
Paradigms.
Paradigms.
Paradigms. Yeah. Paradigms. And then I don't know if love, harmony, or inference, which is a new value from yesterday. Thank you, Josh.
Inference.
Inference.
Inference. Okay.
Yeah, starting to see a little repetition itself. So for me, I wrote down fairness. It for me is something of value. Open-mindedness is another one. And the third one is, I couldn't really describe it, but it's really around that, what people already said around people, community, collaboration, kind of all of that.
Connection.
Yeah.
Josh?
I went with equivalent communication and aligned action, because I don't really see beliefs as a
Equivalent?
equivalent communication and aligned action. Action being the most key of that, but since everyone compounded things, I'd like to add supersymmetry.
Supersymmetry.
Yeah, symmetry of information.
So equivalence? No, it's equivalence.
Equivalent communication and aligned action.
So that's CE, because that's also a value for Josh.
Oh, that's a comma?
Yeah, it's it's a equivalence,
Okay, gotcha.
communication, and line action.
Cool.
Wow.
Equity as opposed to equality, so not everyone having the same, but everyone having what they need. I think that ties in with fairness, and it's just fair sometimes seems fuzzily defined.
Yeah, sorry for just repeating
No,
stuff
no.
that's already there in my own words, but I don't believe in placing some people above others. I believe it's essential to treat people with respect, but at the same time, I don't believe that kindness and good intentions are enough to solve our most pressing problems.
Right, that last one, can you like say it in a word what you would mean as a value? Like why you don't believe that kindness is just gonna solve
Well,
it?
it's
What do you
a
believe?
values and beliefs. I guess it's more a belief than a value.
But that's fine. And
But
what do you believe when it comes to that? Can you?
What, like action over?
well, I mean, action is part of it, but it takes it doesn't just take wanting to do the right thing and then doing something. It takes bridging the gap between understanding not just like what's a machine that could kind of do what I want it to do, but like what is really the problem and like what are all the factors that are gonna be attacking my solution once it's in the field. You know, that it's not just like, oh, I hate that this is this way, let me fix it. It's like, well, that's great, that's gonna be your version 0.1, you know?
Is it linked to patience? I'm just wondering if there is a value we can link to that.
Iteration.
Yeah.
Iteration, I guess openness to information outside of the predefined scope of inquiry.
Like
Openness is a good one.
So, you know, coming in and being like, oh, this is the problem we're trying to solve, and not
I know.
realizing that it's connected to all these other things, and it's like,
Holistic.
once you really, holistic
That
thinking.
feels right, cause there's like
Holistic
a root
thinking,
cause
yeah.
thing
Yeah.
here, you don't want to attack the symptoms, you want.
Right.
I read that as
And you
innovation.
shouldn't,
Could be-
like, once you've defined this is whatever, you should be able to revise and be like, actually, that was more of a symptom, now that I have more information, you know?
That's I also have to think of openness.
Yeah,
Stay open
openness.
to all the other
Holisticness.
possibilities and not coming with your
Yeah.
idea.
Open mind, yeah.
It's hard to facilitate this because you never know where the piece you're missing comes from. So just openness is usually healthy.
Adaptability.
Adaptability,
It's
yeah.
also
openness, these are
flexibility, adaptability.
Flexibility, yeah, good practices.
Open mind.
Andre?
Yeah, I think there's, I will sum myself to some others that are already there, but I think the only one is I wrote impact. My three things are impact, justice, and evolution. And I realized that these three are connected actually. For like the reason why I got this tree is because I think we are destroying the only thing that we have to live on, and that is worrying me. Like in 200 years there will be no, like we will live on a sun fire, and that will actually be a reality. So saving a healthy state of the planet that we live on, that's actually important.
For sure. And yeah.
Custodianship? What is
So
that?
that's basically mine.
Really? Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I summed mine up into responsibility for the stewardship of our planet and resources.
It's actually the most
But I mean, I have two, one for humanity and one for the planet itself.
Can you repeat that one more time, Danny? Resources?
Yeah, I mean, the full statement I came up with for mine is uniting humanity in responsibility for the
Yeah.
stewardship of our resources.
I think responsibility
That's actually
slash
good.
accountability is actually a good one to put that on there as an extra one.
That's what we'll describe.
And justice has come up a lot, which is really nice to see. There's
Yeah.
a lot that
And
came back.
evolution as well.
And evolution and growth, and that came up a lot
And
as
then the
well.
other words I had was actually restoration.
What do you mean with restoration?
So I think we've already trashed shit and we need to fix it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's not enough to me just to become sustainable and able to take care of ourselves. We actually need to go restore stuff that's already been destroyed.
And why? Because restoration is actually like, that will be the behavior, but like why?
Okay.
Why
It's
do you
a
want?
value. It's definitely a value. I mean, it's a whole way of looking at things, like. and
For
that's
sure,
what
but
I
like-
see what's in common with these other values is that it's like
Well,
a lens that you look at things with.
they should be pretty intricately linked.
Yeah, it's all
Values
linked,
and
but I was just
behaviors.
wanted to say like you could maybe even as long as you can continue to ask why, then you can maybe summarize it even more in a value. So for that one, my intuitive feeling was like, why do you want to restore stuff? Why?
Why restore it?
Yeah. Why do you believe that needs to be done?
Because there's messes. Because there's, well, I mean, I guess the earth will just restore herself if we all leave, but if we want to stay, we need to make sure it's back into balance.
So you believe in the earth, in humans, and
I think if
In
humans
life?
want to be here, we need to fix what we broke. Like, right now, the earth is not able to take care of itself. We need to put more carbon back in the earth and stop putting it in the atmosphere. It's not enough just to stay at the carbon production we're at right now.
okay.
We need to restore it back into the earth so she can take care of herself and sustain our life upon it.
Sustaining is also good. Yeah,
Nice
sustainability.
Yeah, but like the thing is,
Regeneration.
people are always like saying, oh, restoration and reparations. This is, oh, that. Let's not have that as the word. Let's say sustainability instead, because, and it's the same thing with like when we talked about practicing non-discriminatory communication, right? It's like, why do we have to be specific about this, and why can't we just say, oh, respectful communication? Because guess what? A lot of people think they're being sustainable, they think they're being respectful communication, and they don't realize, like, that they're being fucked up.
Yeah.
And, like, you have to get, when it comes to, like, exploited populations, exploited resources, you have to get specific about the state of affairs and the fact that things have been fucked by the privileged world, and, like, reparations, restoration, specific non-discriminatory practices, like getting really nitty-gritty and defining that for everyone is important, because otherwise it will be totally blindsided.
So you said that it's the sustainability, right? Or did I
No,
miss?
she very
misinterpret?
I
specifically
said
said
that,
no.
I said that you,
That's like
you
whitewashing it.
behavioring her value is part of the problem.
Okay, that's interesting. I completely misinterpreted. That is an interesting thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
I heard you say the opposite in the beginning. I missed that then. Sorry. Okay, so then put on restoration. I would add sustainability because yeah, I would write it as sustaining stuff.
Sustainability of the planet. I mean, because
So
sustainability you can sustain yourself. Like
No,
you
but
can
we're
sustain
talking about
like your car. You can
Meta
sustain
regeneration.
like
yeah, meta sustainability.
sustainability.
Environment
of the
prefix
world, of
works
the
for
virus. Like if this,
I mean,
it's
peop-
broad.
Big picture people.
People might come up with a plan, a whole equation of how to do things, a rate at which to extract water and oil and whatnot that's a sustainable rate, but they forget that we're at negative 5,000 right now.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't just develop a sustainable rate, you have to like go back and work and do the restoration.
Okay, now I get what you
Zero.
mean, and with me, and that's why I use it in the complete opposite sense, because like if you want to be sustainable, of course you have to go back, and just restoring is like compensating for your carbon footprint. To me, that's like, yeah, we have to restore some stuff. You're just restoring shit. You have to make it sustainable.
I mean,
So
if
that
I bring a
there's
Zargan, if I bring a
there's
Zargan
numbers.
viewpoint into this, it depends how big you draw your box. If
Yeah.
you draw your system box as long-term sustainability, obviously there needs to be some compensation for past grievances that have not considered that.
It's like a
If
credit
you're drawing
card.
your system
It's like
box
a credit
just
card.
in the near term, yeah, sustainability means zero inflow outflow, but if you draw it on the bigger picture, then it does include restoration.
Yeah,
So,
indeed.
yeah, I mean, it's fuzzily defined, it depends on your system, and needs to be clearly communicated.
Yeah.
Okay, and for that, I have one final maybe for me to ask, like, because this was a perfect example, is truth, like, and I define that as getting clarity, understanding things. So such a discussion I find super valuable to actually get what is the thing that you want to say and you want to reach. If we don't get to the real point, you're not gonna make real change. You're sometimes faking solutions, even if you don't realize it.
so that's an interesting one, because as soon as you say truth, my brain breaks just a little bit. Like, I almost want to back that up and say we need diversity of perspective in order to perceive truth.
Like awareness.
Because otherwise, all you have is your own truth, right? The way that you see it through your own
Well,
like
but
awareness.
I mean, with truth, the thing that Josh explained yesterday, the thing in the middle, you have the territory, and you have your map of reality, and you have the actual territory that nobody really knows. It's somewhere in the middle, and trying to connect people's truths as closest as possible to get to that truth, to get to the reality, is going to help us fix real issues. That's what I mean with truth. Yeah, but that's again.
So I'm gonna
And
put
that's
truth,
what I was adding in
and I'm also
inference.
putting
as well.
diversity.
Inference. Oh yeah, that was
Because through inference, you at least are able to get closer to the truth somehow.
Oh, but never infer. That's right.
It's probabilistic, variable at all stages.
Okay, so this is fantastic. So what I would propose now, so we've been busy for now an hour, so actually we're nicely on schedule. Except that we started late, but we're on schedule. What I would like to do now is that we connect, and maybe you're way better at this than I am, but like trying to connect some of the terms that actually, and you already did this while writing down mostly, but some of the terms that are like actually saying the same in a way, so that we end up with a top like 10 to 20 terms maximum. No, maybe 10 terms. Maybe it's good if we end up with 10 values that like capture this, because the next thing I would like to do is that we then order those 10 that remain and like how important they are to you, so that we get to an order for Giveth. Yeah, I heard you. Sorry, I wanted to finish my sentence. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
sorry. Can we do like just dot button, like adding dots?
Well, that's the first exercise I would like to do is to get the ones that are still a little bit double, to get them together so that we have a smaller list to like actually order.
I
If
have
that
a
makes sense.
question, can I
Go ahead.
just ask a question? Because as I look at this list, I'm thinking like, what are other things that I think have brought us together that maybe aren't on this list right now? Like, one of the words I've heard a lot is revolution. and like
Yeah.
actively resisting what is unjust, and I feel like that's like an underlying element. Is there anybody here who feels like that's not true? Cause
Like justice.
For me,
Like, I mean, I feel like we're dancing around all the pretty stuff, but really what we're here to do is build a system so we can actively resist the injustice.
Yeah, like
yeah, and that's the
So
one.
where I see evolution, I wanna write revolution too.
Yeah, they're very related terms. It's like the
Uh-huh.
thing that Griff often said that I like. To me, revolution can be a bit harsh and painful. Where like in evolution is like we put some technology under it and we slowly glide into a more just system.
yeah, like we adjust
We
like
grow.
the curve, right?
Yeah.
The of evolution, so we head into a certain way. Not to the
To me, revolution sounds like a
Extinction.
destructive process.
Yeah,
which
it has a destructive element to it.
it needs to
is
Why-
Why,
why do you
starting
think
again.
that,
though.
why do you
Like,
think
Yeah.
that's
it's
a destructive
revolving, it's
context?
going around to the beginning and starting
Because of that,
again, which
because you
I
revolve.
don't think we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to like go back to ground zero? Like there's something.
No, that will
Yeah,
be like
I think that this
Right.
time in history, the situation is actually different because we
Yeah.
have the opportunity to build new systems and to compete from that ground to the system, okay? While in other opportunities, there was, in other times there was no that opportunity. So if you wanted to change the system, you needed to bring that down. So
And now we have maybe the opportunity with technology to not break everything down and have a war because we have tech to make our lives better. But in any case, that's an important example. It's like
It's not-
maybe you would say like, oh no, I call it revolution in my head. Other people will say evolution. So it's good to group some words to have like that we agree like this is all these words can be boiled down to sort of one tag word, but it's a richness that is behind it, and we will all interpret it a little bit differently. The word that we conclude on, like let's use that word, we're not gonna get to that in this session, I think, and it's not needed. That's just like the refining and reviewing of like writing a manifesto. But like grouping them, these are some of the main things that bring us together. Yes.
I mean, I think some of the other three big words that are kind of our values is like decentralization, altruism, and community. Community kind of made it up there, but
Yeah.
somehow altruism and decentralization kind of made it up there.
Because altruism is, I think, too much. It's like really we are the justice people. It's like
Yeah.
as strange as it sounds, but like or not strange, but
Yeah, it's true.
The altruism is programmed in.
Yeah.
That's what we
Sovereignty,
wanna do.
like self-sovereignty, that feels
Altruism
like
is-
kind of essential.
I mean,
Yeah.
open source is maybe
Radical
also-
inclusion is also linked to that, for me, to altruism, the thing that you said.
Open source is definitely linked to altruism.
Well, we put it on
Open
there,
source.
altruism is one.
Open source should be in there for sure.
like I will argue like probably decentralization could be like a ramification of something like maybe bigger. I don't know, like why do we want this decentralized
Decentralization we want the properties of decentralization. We want it to be
yeah, I
easy to
understand,
deploy
but-
by everybody and be resilient and not influenceable by external forces. That's probably what it means. And it's like the decentralized
Exactly, so-
aspect is coming with the internet as well.
Yeah, I think there's
But
like
just a
such
word.
bigger things that we like. For example, I mean,
Do you have
decentralization
some
can
resilience?
be a product of
For
justice,
anti-fragility
like
is actually
complete
a bad
justice. Wouldn't
I'm
it?
just saying on the value side, decentralization makes not much sense as a value because it's a means or in both ends of the thing. Like it can be a start or the goal, but
But we
it's something
have
you deal with, it's not a
decentralization.
value in itself.
Decentralization is also a bit of, and we already had that
Yeah.
discussion. It's a layered concept,
Yeah.
but like we had it coming up often. I remember Jeff also saying some things. We have a lot, Adam as well, like on equality of equity and so on. So that is what we want to reach with the concept and the means of decentralization. So I think we have it on there. Then there's just like some other things that people were saying is like, I heard resilience, where you can also call it anti-fragility, that we have like, that we build that we are robust, that we think in a robust way, that we think long term. I think that came on here as well already. Yeah, but it's like, it's linked to that, I feel. Thoughts on that one?
I mean, it's like security is probably the wrong word. I mean, technical security, like not easy to tamper with and like not falsifiable, like fraud resistant.
Like the core of like what
It's
we're
kind of in the
Isn't that
anti-fragility, but
privacy?
it's really
What?
doubling down
Privacy
on
maybe?
positive.
Privacy is linked to that, but privacy is not really
So
a value.
the thing that
then
you
again.
see that being all the time is censorship resistant.
That's
But-
one side.
But
Yeah.
what you're saying
yeah.
is fraud resistant and.
Well, like one is like maybe coming from exterior, the one from interior attack.
Okay, any other terms that you think that are not on the board yet, that are, or not, or that are related and we should add to one of the terms before we start combining some things?
Trust.
Trust. Is trust on here yet? I don't think so indeed. We have community and connection, which I think bring trust, so it's linked to that, but it's you can see it as a separate value.
It's the driver of community.
Yeah, I link it also like to abundance, like making sure that you are in this abundance mindset to just like dare to trust other people.
Curious, also the ones that are repeated a lot, like that takes like a weight, right? Like maybe there's a reason why they got repeated.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Justice, fairness,
Yeah.
open-mindedness, evolution.
Community.
Community is one that got repeated a lot.
I think, Chris,
I think that's
future
actually-
generations too, I mean, it relates to what Danny was saying, but I think
Yeah, how did we summarize that again?
Yeah, I was thinking about that too, like unattachment
future
to actually like personally benefiting from the work. What we do now to restore might actually be so that those who come long after us actually even get to experience what we did in the first place.
Yeah, and that's again why I find sustainability higher in like somewhere succinctness, because like it's about the future generations. That's only possible if you think about the sustainability.
I mean,
But
it's not
another
about
word.
the problem per se, it's about the values that are in the community. I feel like the restoration is not within the scope of what we do because we're so at the radical edge of innovation that it's more...
Don't think too much also what we do, but what we share as values.
Okay,
So-
I thought we're in that phase.
How about if we make that regeneration?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like that.
I mean, I
like
kind of
that
see
better.
it as like this idea of when you make the thing better than when you found it. You leave everything better than when you found it.
Innovation.
yeah.
Which is more
Dude,
general.
that's innovation development, yeah.
Innovation.
How would you
Positive
describe
impact.
that, Griff? What, do you have a word for that?
Leave things better than how you found them. I don't think there's a word for
That
it.
is.
Restoration,
Okay,
regeneration.
I was gonna say regeneration is the word for it really.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because it's the step
a really
beyond
good
racial
value
trace.
for you
Is
is
where we go
Ubuntu.
after that.
Yeah,
Is
exactly.
Which,
beautiful trace.
Yeah.
I
It's
call
not
it
an English
evolution
word, but-
when you're
Make
saying,
it better.
if you have evolved, for me, evolution is which is not a revolution, is like going slowly up. It's like building on what exists and making it better.
Evolution is more internal growth, whereas regeneration is external growth. you know,
I
like-
combine both, but yeah, internal, external growth. But
I call it collaboration because for me collaboration is exactly
I
that
think
finding
collaboration
stuff
is really important.
and
Ubuntu.
Ubuntu.
Collaboration
Ubuntu.
brings us to that
Ubuntu
diversity of
means
perspective.
all is one, basically.
I am because we
Yes.
but that's to me connected to the
I thought
community
it was just the
element.
operative system.
It's
Right?
everything.
It's
It's
a connect-
regeneration and community. It's like you're one of like with the people. The
And then
people
it's
is one with the planet. The planet is
Can
one
I,
with
for
the
people
universe.
who don't know the term,
universe is
can I
one
write
with me.
connection together with Ubuntu?
Singularity.
Because
Yeah,
that
it's
word?
just like a more meta. It's
Yeah.
grouping all those.
So it's about the connections, right?
Yeah, it's connections of us, the individuals, with the larger whole.
Yeah.
And the responsibility embedded in that connection.
Okay, so I'm gonna write
It's
connection
about getting
Ubuntu.
rid of your dualistic system thinking.
Which other ones spring
Yes,
out that you heard a lot
Ubuntu, like,
during the session?
multi-perspective.
Yeah, like where you
I feel like stewardship kind of, I don't know if that fits
I am
in
because
there
we
somewhere,
are.
but
It's
Yes,
like the
I
exact
cannot
meaning of
exist
Ubuntu.
alone on myself.
It kind of goes with fair distribution a little bit.
yeah.
Probably probably what the Christians mean when they say
I
come
feel like
from the ashes.
What do you mean with
Virgin
stewardship?
Regeneration. No, but there's something between the ashes.
respect. Like I feel like all that is kind of fair distribution. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Fairness. Justice.
Can I just bring up the point about revolution versus evolution? Because
Sure.
I sort of feel like a value, this is my perception in this group, is the sort of concept of speed that I don't think this group sees the world in the state it's in and doesn't want to sit still and incrementally change it. There's a huge opportunity to make some bigger impacts. So in a sense that speed or that revolution versus the evolution feels like Giveth to me. Big ideas, let's make a big impact versus incremental, which you see everywhere today, right?
So do you see us as more evolution, like long term, or do you see us as like do it now, speed?
I feel like Giveth is more revolution now.
But I think the words are actually, isn't it just like revolution is a planned design that's applied and evolution is emergence from whatever's there. So like
Yeah.
it's definitely revolution because we are planning to do stuff to have an evolution maybe later when
Yeah.
it runs that we have other stuff that's on top that emerges out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's both for sure.
Yeah.
Both ends.
And maybe a value there is like the impact.
Non-violent revolution.
I don't know if it's a value, but
Which one, sorry?
like maybe like complementing with
Except
saying that impact is actually the thing that drives that movement, right?
No, that's a good point. Do we have impact or other
Also-
words here?
We have impact.
Do we have other words like combined with impact? Which other ones are linked to impact?
Revolution is it?
So,
I think you have 7 minutes.
All the different types of hummingbird around.
Harmony is kind of missing in that. I mean, there's love, empathy.
Is it a
and
bit linked to
harmony
the
comes in
Ubuntu?
with justice more.
Well, it's not.
That's the problem for me.
Collaboration.
When I put the Ubuntu there, it's
Because
all in
harmony
there.
necessarily means multiple tones, multiple sounds working together.
Harmony should be like everywhere there.
No, but I will argue that harmony is a completely different thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't say justice and harmony really come,
Yeah, definitely.
like, at least when I think of justice, harmony doesn't pop in my mind.
Yeah.
When I
Oh,
think
I
of
thought you were saying it did, and I was like, I wanna see them next to each other,
Yeah.
know what that feels like.
I think it connects more to collaboration than just.
Yeah,
That's what I think too.
and community.
But also like
So let's put it in.
Inclusion
Fair
is
distribution.
inclusion is already with respect, kinda, right? Or do we need that separately?
Radical inclusion. I mean, I feel like that's under community collaboration. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like it's linked to these two,
I
I
think
guess.
it's justice.
As well, you see, yeah, they're all very much interlinked. It's beautiful to see that we're like very
Uh-huh.
like all say yes to those.
wow, justice in the middle is now.
Yeah.
So strange.
It's I don't know if it's coincidence, but I think
Even when
Wow.
Is there something? Oh, maybe that's the revolution. But like do you try to front run or be the first or be the one to shape stuff? Maybe like leadership,
Yeah.
Innovation.
Yeah, that's
like
there.
innovative leadership, yeah, or
innovative
something like that.
leadership.
Yeah.
I think we're leaders of the community.
Because we should put the development in there. Like we have a strong urge
Well-
to develop stuff, like software specifically to.
Like the urge of doing the
leadership
thing.
to me is a little bit more behavior. It comes out of having strong values and goals. Then that emerges that leadership. I don't know.
All right.
But innovation,
stewardship.
we do it
What
through
about-
innovation.
Can you call it commonality or I mean like common values? I don't want to call it communism, but
You can call it
But that's actually what we all. I think what you want to say is that we already have a lot of common values, which it shows here, and that brings that.
no,
right?
but no, I'm not explaining myself. Sorry. Like the commons. I mean, we stand for the commons.
Yeah.
Standing for the commons.
We have diversity on here.
Yeah, oh, did I not have that one? Oh, that's the one where I felt, oh yeah, I put under collaboration.
Reciprocity.
I think actually we have the more simple one. Do you
I do
agree?
too.
Okay, so because I want to stay within the time, we have like about 5 minutes left. So we'll go. I said that we're gonna go a little bit longer than 90 minutes. So what I propose now is that we take these terms and you put them on a sheet of paper and you put them in the order of how you think it's most important for you. So we have connection, community, harmony, collaboration, fair distribution, stewardship, justice, respect, love and empathy, regeneration, evolution, and innovation.
Wow, that's
And yeah, I think we should just cut it down to 5. So that you
Yeah,
don't put
just
it in
write your
order,
top
just write
5.
your
Yeah,
top 5.
put your top 5 on. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And you can combine 2 terms if you believe they're very connected, of course. If your top 5 doesn't correspond with the words in my top 5, that's completely fine.
Wait, sorry, what's it? We're taking a top 5 from what's on the board.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can we get openness on there by any chance?
Can we what?
Get openness on there so I can put it in my top 5?
Openness. Sure.
It's indeed not on there. That's a really good one.
Yeah, on that top.
Yeah, I guess radical inclusion, is that like
Well,
openness and
you can
inclusion?
Inclusion, Danny, we put under?
No.
No,
Yeah, we...
but openness feels like
I think it
inclusion.
encompasses it.
Yeah, what do you
I would
feel,
put them
Adam?
together.
Openness, inclusion, openness?
I was saying it broader than just inclusion, so if
I'll
it
add it
could
to
be a
it.
subset
Okay,
of
openness,
that, then
openness is probably broader than inclusion. I'm down with
in the
that.
way I use it at least.
Yeah,
You can put the word you'd prefer. Or
I think it kind of goes with open source too, you know, like.
Right, it has a lot of connotations.
And if you're like one of the words in my top 5 is still not on there, just put it in your top 5. It's on the left board.
That's terrifying. Let's try to make this bold.
Yeah.
Just paste.
And this is for Giveth or for us personally?
This is the ones that you think that we
do
share as a group. Or that you think that you want to, if you work for the organization of Giveth, which would be your top 5? What do you think that we should...
For Giveth.
Yeah, what should we value as a group?
What should we or what do we?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
that's
should
the
we? What do
question.
you believe?
I
Like
feel
linked to your
this
values?
really needs to be our own top 5, and
Yeah.
then we get to see from that what
Yeah,
it is.
because that
So
will
what
give
should
the
we
answer.
then?
Indeed, correct. That's maybe...
that is us.
Yeah, that is us.
The most votes wins, right?
Well, it comes down to the same thing as like what you want for Giveth is probably aligned with what you value
I mean,
most,
hopefully
right?
it's what you want for yourself.
Yeah, or you
If
shouldn't be
they're not
here.
the same, we should be thinking about that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good addition. Thanks.
Okay.
Don't hesitate to look again at the left board if you feel like something is missing. Then you take one of those and add it to one or to clarify, whatever. Because your values might mean something else for you than to someone else. We good? I see many people looking up, so just stay in the time. What I propose is you just say your top 5. You don't have to explain all of them. You may, but like maybe not, or we're not gonna get there. We can talk about this later.
How are we gonna score?
Should we put a dot next to each word each time someone says it, and then we count the dots?
Yeah.
Sounds reasonable.
So it doesn't matter the order. of the top 5?
No.
It matters that it's there.
No, the order for you personally matters for sure. Like you put what is most important for you. The idea, what I was thinking of scoring it so that we don't lose too much time on it. You put your top 5. It is recorded. I'm gonna put all of this in a sheet afterwards, and then we see it.
Well, let's just put it in a sheet right now. I mean, it's not hard to.
So like your number 1 would get 5
Yeah.
points, your number 2 would get 4 points, so that we actually score them.
That's the thing I wanted to ask Griff. Do we need to use something like quadratic voting for this, giving more scores to a higher value, or just like top 5 to keep it simple?
Yeah, I think just I like the dots, like he was saying, like maybe 5 dots for your top 1, or at least 2 dots for your top 2 and 1 dot for your bottom 3, kind of a thing.
So you do give more value to the higher ones then.
I want weight.
Yeah, so there's a weighted vote.
That's
I
interesting.
think for, are we gonna put it up on the, is someone gonna put it up on the?
I wasn't planning to,
I'm making
because
Oh,
we're
Griff is-
recording it.
Griff
but
is just
Griff is-
putting it in the sheet.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
the easiest.
But you guys gotta give me like 60 seconds,
Yeah.
okay?
The reason I
So
was
they're not at the same time.
It
For
might
visual
be, it
learners.
might
Yeah.
be, yeah.
Can I clarify? Stewardship should be linked to regeneration. No.
I don't know what stewardship means.
Yeah,
No, stewardship is more linked to fair distribution, 'cause it's taking, well,
And
What-
we
Main-
both relate to justice actually.
and
Is stewardship
justice.
like servicing other people? What is stewardship?
It's like ownership, but you don't own it. It's taking care of something.
Yeah, so.
Oh yeah, accountability.
I think
kind of.
That's
I like
why I
looking
said
at it like there's
regeneration.
ownership, like I own it, there's stewardship, like I'm using it and responsible for taking care of it. And there's
Well-
custodianship, which is it's in my possession and therefore.
So
okay, so with search, so it's like washing your own dishes, they use in a house as stewardship, right? But if you have a wash 1 extra dish rule, then there's regeneration in that stewardship.
Right? Regenerative stewardship. I know, I wanted to link collaboration and community, because to me, that's what community is collaboration
Yeah, I'm,
But-
Are you ready for
and
the
connection,
doc?
so it's fun.
I'm
Let's
also
doc
linking
though.
some. That's why I'm gonna have trouble getting my things in that sheet.
Like, I picked openness because I think it includes inclusivity and diversity.
yeah.
Yeah, and I
I'm
connected
looking at
respect and
Ubuntu
openness.
first for that one.
I connected respect and openness because they're
Excellent,
the
that
same
one,
thing.
guys.
Oh, well.
Okay, I'm ready.
Getting that off.
Okay. I'll read my first one. My number 1 is collaboration. Number 2 is regeneration. Number 3 is openness. This Barker sucks. And number 4 is fair distribution. And number 5 is harmony. Now I have to use different colors. Where'd the red
Wait,
go?
well, can you say those really quickly? I missed one.
Yeah, collaboration,
Yeah?
fair distribution.
Wait.
Oh,
Are you going top,
sorry.
number 1, number...
collaboration and regeneration are the top.
Uh-huh.
Fair distribution,
You can put your dots in.
harmony, and openness.
Okay.
I have community connection because it's the same to me. Second, I have justice. Evolution. Am I going too quick?
Nope.
Innovation. And as the last one, respect/openness.
That's not possible.
That's
two
two.
different.
I know, but to
You
me they're
gotta,
the
you gotta
same.
tell me which one do you think encompasses the other one? Openness encompass respect?
Openness, I guess.
Respecting being
If I have
open.
to, I don't want to choose, but yeah, this is.
I know, I had to do the same
Okay.
thing.
Who's
Me too.
Okay. Lorelai?
Justice, community, evolution, diversity, regeneration.
There, that's with collaboration.
Oh
diversity.
yeah.
Switch it.
Yeah.
I want regeneration first. Or not first, but regeneration, then regeneration third.
Wait, what happened?
Regeneration 3rd?
Nothing for you.
Well, she's
Oh.
also adding
Wait.
But
weight to the. She's putting 2 dots
So
if you say.
regeneration before evolution.
Yeah.
We're doing a live.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was doing the two
Okay.
dots for your first two, and I thought I heard you change it. but
I
that's
didn't change the first two.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. Kai?
So, I mean, it's probably not going to be popular in the points vote because, so I chose Ubuntu as the core value because that's really a.
So that's
mixture.
connection, Ubuntu connection.
It
right?
is Ubuntu, no, Ubuntu
Okay,
doesn't
put
mean
Ubuntu
connection.
then.
Ubuntu really is collaboration, community, respect, love, and equality, all and empathy in one thing. So, but Ubuntu is one, the core value that, and we use innovation to bring harmony.
Wait, hold on, come on.
So it's Ubuntu, innovation, harmony.
So that's your top three, okay?
Yeah, to bring on the goals of justice and fair distribution, like bring
So
harmony
4
in
is justice and 5 is.
fair distribution.
them. Yes.
Okay, yes, thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a crazy situation because Ubuntu is a very powerful one here. So for me, Ubuntu is kind of community collaboration, connection.
So
And also-
community is your first?
No, Ubuntu.
Ubuntu.
Ubuntu is your first.
Yeah, but Ubuntu because it encloses
Okay, you pick one
Nice.
Ubuntu.
Okay.
And what's
And
your
then
second one?
last three?
collaboration. I mean, if they have to choose one to together with Ubuntu, we'll go for collaboration. Then love, innovation, harmony, and evolution.
That's 6.
No, love is what we
Well,
put there. as
love leave it with Ubuntu. Okay, so innovation, harmony, and evolution. Ubuntu connection, Ubuntu collaboration, innovation, harmony, and evolution. Sorry about that.
Innovation, harmony.
Did you give him an evolution dot, Danny?
No, I felt like I already gave, because I removed.
Okay.
Okay,
My God.
so number 1 I had was justice. Number 2 I had community / collaboration, but I guess if I had to pick one, I'll pick community. Number 3 was respect, love, empathy. And number 4 was openness. Number 5 was innovation.
Nice. Thanks for making it easy.
I went with Ubuntu as the top one. I went with collaboration, openness, regeneration, and harmony after that.
Collaboration, openness.
But I think I preferred Kai's order, to be honest. He
Collaboration.
sequenced it better.
What were your last two?
No, we'll go with it. Regeneration and harmony.
Justice, fair distribution.
But I think actually innovation needs to be swapped and stuff. But yeah, I'm uncertain.
It's okay.
Try for president. Yeah.
You
Delegate.
guess my vote.
Okay, wait, it's great. You ready?
Ready?
Yeah.
I got openness for my first one, community for my second. My third, I'm saying fairness. I guess it's like a semantic thing, but I feel like that's
Okay.
broader than, it captures the broadness of what the term means to me.
Uh-huh.
Collaboration and respect.
Respect.
Oh, how do I keep track of that when somebody said respect, love, and empathy?
Oh, you just
Somebody
put
else said
put
respect.
one there. We put them together, so it's fine. Then we have Danny or Griff.
Danny went first.
Oh yeah, then it's Griff.
Andre.
But
Oh, sorry, Andrew.
Danny, did you put fair distribution for fairness? I think they're two different things.
Is fairness up here?
No, but
It's not,
maybe
so I
just
was-
add it like next to fair
Well, yeah,
distribution.
we'll put it like as an.
And
Justice.
but it still gets the same dots.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Andre.
Okay, so my first one is justice, and I think we found like a peace formula or something. But here's like the first one will be justice because in order to get that we need innovation, which is the second one. Innovation will lead into regeneration, which is the third one. Regeneration will lead to community, which is the fourth one, and that will eventually lead us into harmony. So
I love it. Good logic.
Wait, can you say that one more time? I'm sorry.
yeah, justice, innovation, regeneration, community, harmony.
Justice, innovation. I couldn't find innovation. Say it one more time. Justice, innovation.
Regeneration, community, and harmony.
Okay,
Is-
sorry.
Is innovation not there?
Yeah, no, he couldn't
I got
find
it.
it in his list, but
Yeah, I
he
just
has
couldn't
it.
find it on my spreadsheet.
Yeah.
It's hidden.
Oh, he has it. Jeff, did you already go?
No, he hasn't gone.
Pass.
You're passing.
You can't
We
pass.
pass on our core values.
Well, I think they're all incredibly important, and to say 5 over the rest, I'm kind of like, I think they're all really important.
You can't pick
Okay.
your top 2.
No, we can pass.
We just discovered the peace treatment.
He doesn't have to.
I'm sorry, I'm not
Griff.
focused
It's
on
okay.
it. but-
No, Griff can.
Yeah. Yep.
The world peace, man.
Yeah, you can.
So what's your top 5, Griff?
Oh, I need to go.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, I'm definitely revolution, evolution, which I'm counting as 1,
Okay.
and then I think innovation is probably my next, and then justice, openness, community.
You have the exact same as I do, but in a different order. Okay, so
There you go.
thank you so much. So now we can just gonna say the order, like what is the our top 5, I would say, and then I'm gonna go to checkout so that we respect timing a bit, because respect is one of our values. So what is our top 5, Griff, or maybe even a top
Well, so
1?
I took a different scoring approach in the spreadsheet because I saw you doing this.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Do you want to do yours top?
I mean, I
can
can
have
they're
see
probably
that.
the same.
Yeah, it's good. Like then you can maybe see.
I mean, community,
Let's see how
2,
they
4,
order
6,
and
8,
vote
10,
on the best
12.
of 2.
Yeah, put some numbers.
Right?
Yeah.
Harmony has 5. Collaboration has 7. Ubuntu has 6. Fairness, fair distribution, and justice are together-ish, but fair got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay.
Respect got 2, evolution got 5, regeneration got 4, innovation got 9, and openness, inclusion got 7. So that means community wins. Then we have innovation. Oh no, then we have justice. So community, justice, innovation is our top 3 here. And then, look at me, Danny, I think that is...
Collaboration.
Is that a 7?
Yeah, that's a 7. So, this is first,
It's crazy how
this
that
one's
aligns.
second.
Yeah, right. Community, justice,
And then
innovation, and then we have
innovation.
openness and inclusion together with collaboration. That's our
Amazed
4.
Revolution
That's
didn't make it
pretty
more.
neat how that happened.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
what is our 5 to end with the top 5?
After 7, it goes to
Seems-
5. So evolution and
Evolution and harmony are on the.
Oh no, Ubuntu is over there with
Ubuntu.
6.
Ubuntu wins.
Hmm.
So Ubuntu is in our made into our top 5.
You know, it's so
waiting.
I mean, it's not an English word. That's what also makes me love it. Like it because it's a concept, and it's just not as a concept. It's great, but
Okay,
Nice.
Griff, what is your top 5?
It's probably the same. Justice, community, innovation, collaboration, which tied, and Ubuntu.
Yeah.
Justice comes for community in yours.
Yep, justice comes before community.
So can you say it again? Justice,
So they're
community?
different.
Yeah, they're different orders, but I gave 5 points to number 1, 4 points to number 2, 3 points. I just did that.
Sorry,
Yeah.
to register this correctly also with the camera, the justice in your order is 1, community is 2, what is
Yep.
3?
Innovation, which got 18. So justice got 24 points, community got 20, innovation got 18, collaboration got 18, Ubuntu got 15, openness got 14, revolution got 12, and regeneration got 11. And then everything else is kind of far down.
Okay, so
I like that one.
this is fantastic because, so let's do a quick checkout. I think we can talk about this more, of course, also over lunch and so on. I think, to me, this shows that we have a lot of shared values. That's the first feeling I have, and that really makes me really happy. I just want to say a word, like, the outcome of this meeting, why I think this is so important, this is going to influence a lot of the rest of the week. So, because you can say also when you look at the previous things, if you're wondering why did we do this, it brought us to clearer values, and I also think it's gonna help us, like when you think about the environment, this is gonna help us when it comes to working on collaboration with your colleagues. Behavior is gonna, we have our session on governance optimization. When it comes to your capabilities, it's a good moment to talk really about your roles and making sure that your roles cover your capabilities and the capabilities you see in others. So that's an opportunity we'll be having. And we have a session, like when it comes to values, from the values we can define our goals. And we have a goals session as well. So, and then getting to know your own identity and your purpose. I think, like right now we have end with a tagline, but that is an identity of Giveth, but can be about the identity of yourself as well. So that's my checkout, and I just want to thank you guys.
Thank you.
And yeah.
Yeah, thank you.